Joining us is Jason Kuchel, Chief Executive, South Australian Chamber of Mines and Energy. Welcome, Jason.
Good to be here.
Jason, with around $13 billion worth of minerals and energy projects underway, South Australia seems to be on the cusp of a new resources boom. When is it likely to get into full stride?
Well, it's certainly coming, and it's a very steady momentum, but it's going to be a little way off yet, another year or two before we are really seeing the full swing or the full hit of the activities. But the most important thing from South Australia's point of view is that it is very steady growth, and it's growth that we can count on.
How much will we be depending on Asian economies, particularly China, to maintain the momentum?
We expect demand from China to continue to be quite strong over the coming years, and in fact even the recent situation in the United States we don't think will dampen significantly the demand from China.
You don't see a possibility of demand cooling off then in the wake of a slowdown in world economies?
Whilst there might be a relatively small change, overall the demand from China is mostly about domestic growth, and so that we would see that demand to continue to be strong even if there is a cooling off in other places in the world.
There will obviously be a need for supporting infrastructure and services. Given the difficulties being experienced in Western Australia and Queensland, how confident are you that South Australia will be able to supply the necessary skills and services it needs?
Well, it's an interesting point. I think one of the good things is that because we haven't stretched our capacity to its limit at the present time, there is some ability to take that up. We've also got skilled workers who are currently working in WA and Queensland who have their families in South Australia. I think many of those are looking to come home. Some of our projects are close to the capital city, and so that helps in those circumstances. BHP's Olympic Dam expansion is going to be one of the greatest projects in Australia, which will attract people naturally to some extent, but we will have our work cut out for us to, at the end of the day, to be able to fill all the needs of all of the projects that will happen.
The federal government recently approved the expansion of the Beverley uranium mine. How big a part is uranium mining going to play in this new resources boom?
Whilst uranium will be a very important part to South Australia, we do have a great spread across a broad range of commodities, from base metals to mineral sands, uranium, even coal, and of course we also have good oil and gas reserves as well. But at the end of the day, it was great to see the result from the Federal Environment Minister. It would give greater understanding for other uranium projects in terms of how they should proceed.
Finally, Jason Kuchel, what will you be covering in your presentation at the Mining South Australia Conference on the 3rd and 4th of December in Whyalla?
Well, I'm keen to talk to regional communities how they can take advantage of the resources activities that will be coming within their proximity, and also how they can take advantage to build their communities for beyond the periods where some of those mines may be finished their lifespan, and also to ensure that those communities, local governments, economic development boards and state governments can put those things in place so that some of the mistakes that have been experienced elsewhere in Australia are not experienced in South Australia.
Thanks very much for joining us, Jason. We look forward to seeing you at the conference.
Thanks.